Good morning and welcome, Mazino. Welcome.
Yes,
to
welcome, Mazino. I missed this guy here. I really did.
Thank you. It's okay.
It's so good to have you back. Don't be proud. Let's go.
Do the show. Yeah, thank you very much. Welcome to a brand new show. Now, I return with a, perspective that's very different, and I'll be telling you guys all about it. It feels good to be back, and I must say, hey, the year is speeding on fast. It's already almost... We're going to be in June very soon, and we're hoping that your year turned out to be quite as eventful as mine has already.
Yes, indeed. And we look forward to having the most successful year as we keep putting in daily work. Now let's do Tuesday.
That's my line. Let's do Tuesday, shall we?
Let's do Tuesday, shall we?
For sure. Good morning and welcome to the Right Family Breakfast Show. For all of you, Wake Up Nigeria with me in it, and of course, Madam Mary.
Yes. I'm happy to be here
It's
with
not
my
just
dress
us.
by House of Vicky Couture. Yes.
Not bad at all.
Oh gosh, she's a fantastic designer. She makes my dresses and I love them. You can check some of them out on my Instagram handle.
She'll tell you all about that as the show goes on. Also, Goldilocks is with us in the studio. Hey, how you doing?
I didn't see that coming, to be honest, but hey, good morning, guys. How are you both doing?
We are fine. Can't you tell already?
Yeah, like we're good.
It's time for a grand show. Starting the day with us here is Your Best Idea. Thank you very much for coming. My name is Mazino Appeal.
And my name is Mary Bashua Alimi. You can watch the show live on GoTV. You'll find us at channel 16 and UHF band 49.
And you can also stream the show live on Facebook, just in case you didn't know. We also have an app available for you guys. You have to download it, however. Once you do, you can carry us with you anywhere that you might be going.
Yes, so that's about it. Now let's tell you what we have in store for you today.
Music producer and music artist Jeremiah Oluwatoke will be joining us for a musical performance. Join us then.
For health discussion, Dr. Sharon Ekene, well-grounded and experienced optometrist, will be here to talk about red eyes. Should I worry about it? You can't afford to miss this one.
Finally joining us on the couch for a chat, we have Debbie Frankson, an actress famous for her role as Angelica in the web series The Olive. Now, she'll be letting us in on her life as an actor who has been consistent since she kicked off in 2018 when she joined. And you're welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
Good to be here on a Monday. a Tuesday.
Absolutely.
Mary just, ah gosh.
What did I do?
Mary, I've broken my heart.
What did
Why?
I do?
Let me see this guy. I've seen. There is that of his heart. I will be here.
Mike.
Yeah?
Mike.
Mary, please come to see her big.
Please. What are
What
you
is
guys
going?
doing?
Let me drag you too.
Great to have you, man.
Good to have
Let's
you
start with
back.
that.
Thank you very much.
Let's start with that.
Gulliver's Travels.
Since I've been given the floor, let me say thank you very much, Mom. This was I'm joking. So, I took the last 2 weeks to explore much of Nigeria, and also I was in Cote d'Ivoire.
Okay.
Sorry, I was in Cotonou, not Cote d'Ivoire.
Okay.
Cote d'Ivoire is my next trip.
That's Benin.
And it was the most fantastic leave I've ever had in a very long time. In
Good
fact,
for
in
you.
forever. I explored most of Delta State all by myself, and the amazing people.
It was a solo trip, all of this.
It was a solo. Well, first off, we set off as a group, and then after that, I just broke off, and then I went off on my own. It was very interesting. Knowing Nigeria, like I say, is the best exploration that you could ever have. Most of us don't know where we're even from. This is Delta State, where I'm from. And the people, the places, the things that I saw, fantastic. I wish everybody could have that experience to just take time out, go out there and visit Nigeria.
Lowest
So you
moments.
came
what was
back.
it?
I had no low moments.
No low moments.
No
Yeah.
low moments.
No.
And then you came
So
back
what-
to give your daughter maggots to eat.
Okay, so this is what it is, yeah. Do you know what
I
edible
know,
worms are?
those edible worms.
So I had to do a bit of research. They're actually the larvae stage of the
Butterfly.
African rhino beetle, and I've been eating them since I was a kid. So on this run, I wanted to buy it and take it
And they're
back
quite
home.
nutritious as well.
They are quite nutritious, very,
Very
potatoes.
nutritious.
And I bought some at Sapele, brought it back home, gave it to my daughter, who thought that they were disgusting. It was quite a sight to see.
So
So
she
I
didn't eat
saw,
them.
Nah, she couldn't.
someone
There's no
actually
difference
offered
between
it
you
to
and
me
cannibal.
last year. And when I ate it, I was apprehensive. But then it was so crunchy.
It's
And I
actually
just
quite
went,
crunchy.
okay, it's not bad. But after a few bites, I started feeling like I could feel worms working in my belly. So I
Are the
stopped.
insides gooey?
It's gooey, very
Yeah,
gooey.
okay.
Hey, it's tasty. yet satisfying.
Oh,
you know where I
really?
get that from?
You see where?
Lion
Yeah,
King.
tasting what's like Lion King.
You see,
What?
you're on your way to cannibalism.
Can you?
That's how it starts. He said, oh, tasty. The next you move is snake. I'm a snake.
You know
I've
what
had
I
snake
love
before.
the most about Delta people?
What?
Their food. And that is only starch and banga.
Starch and banga.
Oh, I love
Oh,
it.
you've only just started.
It's my favorite Delta
Only just
delicacy.
started. We should go together the next time.
Well, it's good to have you back. Time for the news update on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Mary Bashua Alimi. We begin from the nation's capital, where the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal has commenced its pre-hearing session at the Court of Appeal Abuja Division. The 5-member panel is headed by Justice Haruna Tsammani. In his inaugural speech, Justice Tsammani pledged commitment of the panel to doing justice to the case and advised lawyers against making sensational comments. Judiciary correspondent Celestina Iria reports.
Security at the Court of Appeal, which serves as the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal, is watertight. Shehu Shagari Way leading to the court was cordoned off by security personnel. The pre-hearing session commenced with Justice Haruna Tsammani introducing the members of the panel. Justice Stephen Ada of the Abuja Division, Mesitura Bolaji Yusuf, Asaba Division, Moses Ugo, Kano Division, and Abba Mohammed, Ibadan Division. Chairman of the panel, Justice Tsammani, urges counsel to be wary of unnecessary applications that would waste the time of the court. He believes everyone will be satisfied with the verdict at the end of the case. The first petition taken was that of Action Alliance, AA, and its presidential candidates. The President-elect, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, All Progressives Congress, APC, and Hamza El Mustafa were listed as respondents. Other petitions also taken today were that of Action People's Party, APP, followed by that of Peter Obi and the Labour Party, with the President-elect and APC as the respondents. The tribunal adjourned to tomorrow to take petitions filed by the Allied People's Movement, APM, and that of Atiku Abubakar and the People's Democratic Party, PDP.
The Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal now has 4 petitions before it after the Action Alliance withdrew its petition. In today's pre-hearing section, the tribunal took 2 petitions, that of Labour Party and APP.
The court committed itself to cooperate and ensure that these petitions are expeditiously dealt with. And on our part, all the lawyers for all the parties also committed themselves to cooperating with the tribunal, the court, to make sure that these matters are dealt with urgently because of their national importance.
Will impact on Nigeria's electoral jurisprudence, judicialism, and constitutionalism. It's very, very important that this is made known, because one way or the other, I do not think that it will be business as usual as far as Nigeria's electoral.
Counsel to the APC, Lateef Fagbemi, noted that preliminary objection has been filed to these petitions. Celestina Iria, TVC News, Abuja.
To foreign news now, air raid sirens have sounded across Ukraine after Russia launched a fresh wave of drone and missile attacks. Explosions were heard overnight in the capital, Kyiv, where the mayor said 5 people had been injured at the biggest kamikaze drone attack so far. 1 person was killed in the attack on the southern Odessa region. Ukraine's Red Cross says its warehouse was hit. It marks the 4th attack in 8 days on Kyiv and comes just 24 hours before Russia celebrates Victor Day. The annual holiday commemorates the Soviet Union's victory over Nazi Germany during World War II. A conflict the Kremlin has baselessly tried to draw parallels with since launching its invasion of Ukraine last year. Kyiv's mayor, initially Vitaly Klitschko, said nearly 60 drones had been launched by Russia, describing it as the biggest such attack so far. And that's the news update for this hour on Wake Up Nigeria. So much more to come. Just stay with us. Oh, bother.
And we are back.
My
Yes, we are.
Welcome back.
Okay, yes.
All right, so good. I've been gone for a minute. And while I was,
I think you have established
A
that
lot of
enough.
things have changed.
a lot of things have changed. But I was very excited when I saw Tiwa Savage performing at the coronation for the king. You know, it was like, I was like, yes, Nigeria on the map once again. But then a day after, well, of course, you know Twitter and their vitriol.
Yeah.
They came at Tiwa Savage saying that it was very inappropriate for her to have actually performed that song, which was from an album that celebrated Black identity, Black heritage, to sing that at such an event. Of course, we all know the bias that most Africans, especially West Africans, have, especially Nigerians, have for the monarchy. So thinking about it, I don't know. I have my personal reservations, but I was wondering what you guys think about it. Was it appropriate? Was it
Inappropriate?
Was it inappropriate for her to have performed that
I think
song?
the first thing here is, would she, has she gone to the, is she big enough to reject an approach?
To reject an approach?
From the monarchy, first of all.
Good.
Because that would be, it would be quite a big thing that the monarchy...
It will also be a very big statement.
Yes, it will also be a very big statement. So when I saw, or I heard she was in the lineup, I wondered why. But then when she sang the song, I was like, okay, so it was basically the song more was what picked her. The
Exactly.
song says keys to the kingdom.
Yeah, but the lyrics of the song
Yeah, I know.
says otherwise.
Yeah, so the lyrics are, it's actually in the black,
You could,
what's it now?
depending what you
Black
want
is King album.
Black is King
Beyonce's
album.
Black is King
So
album.
it says the sun and the moon bow to you. You have, so for a lot part of it, it's just open.
The truth is, it's a
Understand?
ballad, it's a love song.
It's a love song, exactly.
Exactly.
So the sun and the moon bow to you and all of that. So you can, it was relatable in some ways, and that was why she was picked. So yes, you see, it's angles. For me, it's different angles and all of that. And in some ways, I really don't have so much of a problem about it. I really do. And I think, like you said, it would have been big if she was called and then she rejected it. You probably would not have heard, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, because someone was like, if they had called Beyonce to sing something like that, would she have done it? You know, but then we still had Nicole Scherzinger, we had Mario Bocelli,
Lionel Richie.
Lionel Richie was there, you know, and
Katy
it was
Perry.
Katy Perry. It was for the music content, it was one of the best I'd ever seen anywhere.
Yeah.
When it comes to musical content, a lot of there were hair-raising moments, there were goosebump moments. It was wonderful. For Tiwa Savage's performance, it was the intro that blew me
Was there
away.
any relevance in the
It
argument
was-
at all?
Eh?
Is there any relevance in the argument at all?
So I would say I'm not going to take away from people's
Sentiments.
sentiments about it. It's fair to them, and they're entitled to it. However, I feel that whenever an opportunity for us to make a statement, represent ourselves, come up, who we are as Africans, we should do it with pride, which Tiwa Savage did. Let's not forget that the Nigerian diaspora is the biggest and the largest in the UK, in the world. We have a lot of Nigerians residents there. And her performing at that coronation it's a progressive spotlight for the Afrobeat community and for Africans as well. And like Mike said, they had a few, so there were, we had a good lineup. We also had a few representatives from Africa, because Tiwa Savage was not the only African that performed. There was also another South African, Pretty Yende, who also performed, right? So I don't have a problem with, let's not also forget, she's also a British citizen. What's my? British citizen, yeah. Right, so she is also a British citizen. She was, I think this not even her first appearance at the King's events. On International Women's Day, she was also there. So, I mean, for her, I think it's a big win.
So, do you want, can I go?
Yeah, okay, you can go.
Okay. I see two different communities, two different modes of thought here. I see a larger, well, maybe not larger, but equally loud foreign diaspora type community. I also see one that is black, and I mean black from being black American to Nigerian to African to everything. Our sentiments as Nigerians who are, you know, picked by this is driven by a certain kind of wokeness. You know, oh, you know, I want to be, I'm aware, I'm young. I'm like, oh, you can't do that, even if I'm African. And then there is the other very, very established black community that are more affected by this than we are. That argument, for me, yes, I can understand. But as an African, I will come from your perspective and say it was an opportunity for us, and especially the Afrobeats community. To be showcased. So I'm not bashing anybody. I'm not putting anybody down. I think it was a fantastic performance. I think if I was Tiwa Savage and I was called by King to come, I go.
It's like saying she owns a restaurant and then the king wants to eat in a restaurant. You say no, don't come and eat. Please come and eat.
So what I was actually going to is, I don't think the analogy applies, but what I was actually going to say was this whole thing. Yes, people have a right to their opinion and all, but if Tiwa Savage had turned it down, to answer Mike's question, I think she's big enough to have done so. The reason we look down Tiwa Savage is because she's our girl. Tiwa is actually very big outside. If you're in the UK, you hear a lot about Tiwa. Tiwa is big outside. She could have turned it down and even made headlines for doing so. I just wanted to establish that. But about the issue of she performing at the King's coronation, the focus here is actually the song. Why did she perform such a song? It wasn't more of, you know, taking that performance. Now, that song, I feel like colonization was terrible. It has lasting effects that is still bothering so many people. However, there are certain incidents that I feel like we need to let go. We're talking about putting our music out there. How do we do so if we keep singing under the carpet? We need to come out there. She gave an amazing performance.
It was beautiful.
Yes, the song was about, Kings to the Kingdom, making it seem like, even Africa bows to you, because I saw that someone was saying, even Africa bows to you. He is a king. We cannot deny the fact that the British monarchy is one of the biggest in the world. That cannot be denied. So we are deceiving ourselves by saying, why are we giving them such credence. Credence and all? But it's been done. I would say this, Tiwa Savage, besides being a fantastic performer, did well by accepting this commission. And she nailed it.
Let's not also...
It's okay to have your opinion about it. That's my thought.
Yeah.
But please, let's also give her flowers.
Let's not also forget that, remember, she's been... Her sex scandal, that scandal.
Oh, there was that?
Yeah, there. So
wow.
she needed this to be that thing that, you know...
It doesn't mean it to still change.
Yeah.
Okay, look at when Nice performed at Mandela's concert.
Yeah.
It was a big deal. The most important thing is, let's leave even whatever scandals. Everybody has the dirty things they have in their wardrobe. Can't we? Mike, should we bring your own?
It's a lie.
But please, let's just move on
Don't use
from
that and
all
justify
of
on
this.
cricket.
I really wish we had not mentioned that scandal.
Everybody had.
It was
God,
fantastic.
was
So
already
she definitely needed this.
Yes,
And well done.
yes.
Well done.
Everybody had.
Excellent.
She didn't
I
need
love
it.
her.
We all did.
Yeah.
We all did.
It's you that needed
Well,
it.
she needed it for her
Break while they
reputation, for her
continue their
brand, and
arguments.
we
We'll be back in What's Greatest Nigeria.
All right, it's time to take a
Okay.
look at the headlines of dailies. Mary,
Yes,
Mary, of course, is
absolutely.
here with me. And we have expert today, Dr. Mr. Emanamfon Umana. It is great to have you. You are welcome.
Good to have you here.
Great to have you here. Okay, so we have quite a number of stories that
Yeah.
we're looking at. Let's kick off from the Punch, right? And Tribunal, this was yesterday. That's a big story across yesterday, getting today. Tinubu Atiku Obi's legal battle commences.
Okay.
Then we have a write underneath there that says PDP APM's petitions pre-hearings hold today, LPOB's case Wednesday. And then Tribunal warns lawyers and says those who deserve justice will get it. And there's also a story about AA, that's a political party, and their own suits being thrown out, you know, because for me, yeah, if you are going to contest the election results, as it were, you most probably be the second, and at most the third, which is the case as it is. But there are calls that inauguration should be held or should, you know, be postponed or something up until the tribunal comes out with a verdict.
What's your thoughts on that?
Does that make any?
Okay, thank you very much. The way the court system works, aside political cases, okay, so there is actually provision where a request could be made, an application to be made to stay matters, remain matters on status quo pending the determination of the suit. But that may not necessarily play out when it comes to political cases. And it was as a result of things like this that provision was now made for election petition issues to be resolved within 180 days.
Okay.
And of course, there is no law that says you have to hold on to the swearing-in process because government must continue.
Yes.
Exactly, that's the point.
Exactly. So government must continue. So those calling for a stay, they're actually trying to create a lacuna in the system, which will create more complications.
Yeah.
Now, for me, the court system has kick-started for aggrieved parties to air their grievances. So let them allow the court to do their work. Yeah. Of course, we had cases where people were sworn in and thereafter their mandate called reversed. Back.
Yes.
So I think they should just take a breather, allow the court to do their thing, and if the ruling party should remain there, that would be. Otherwise, would get justice.
I was actually hoping we could take a look at Oyetola, that's on the Adeleke issue. Oyetola hopeful as Supreme Court delivers judgment today.
Yes.
That's also in the Punch newspaper.
Yes, that is the so this resonates with what I earlier said. Of course, the state's machinery is still going on. Things are still happening. Independent of the court process. So if by today the judgment goes the way of Oyetola, well and good. If it goes to the way of Adeleke, well and good. But the most important thing, so that is why I always tell persons, and it is what we should imbibe, irrespective of who is on the helm of affairs, what is important is the people, the government. So whether it is Oyetola, whether it's Adeleke, whether it's PDP, whether it's APC, what is very important is if they've gotten justice, let the system continue to run and let the people get the dividends of democracy.
Absolutely.
So let's just allow things be, let the court do their work.
Okay, from there we move to the Guardian newspaper. And the Guardian newspaper has this content as aspirants, minority caucus reject Akpabio Abbas. What's your take on that?
Yes, you can see that the lobbying, as it were.
Yeah.
In fact, we had a talk of about 80 past senators who were supporting his bid. He has been going around trying to lobby for the post of Senate President. And then, of course, due to zoning, people are saying, okay, yes, you have the President, South, Vice President,
North.
Senate President should be South.
From the South.
From the South and all that.
Southeast or
South. Southeast, South.
So for me, lobbying is part of the whole political play.
Yes.
Lobbying is good. But my opinion would be that this ought to be an internal process of the party. If a particular caucus has come up to say they are rejecting, on what basis? And I think democracy, of course, these are basic principles, separation of power, checks and balances. We've elected a president, now is the National Assembly. Why not allow them to do their work? Let them determine if Akpabio or Abbas or whosoever is contesting is actually fit for the office. They are qualified. This is their second term in office. So they have the prerequisites for these offices. Let the process determine itself. So, of course, there will always be political gimmicks behind the scene and all that, but I don't think Nigerians should be interested in all of these. Because in the end, who is rejecting what, on what basis, how does it bring succor to the common Nigerian on the streets?
Now, a quick one before we go to the Daily Trust newspaper. Still on the Guardian newspaper now. We have reconciliation not mentioned during Obi's visits. Soyinka clarifies. Of course, that's been the big story.
Yes.
Obi's visit to Soyinka, especially he applauding him for what he has done for Nigeria. That's Obi applauding Soyinka and all. Yeah.
Okay. So of course, for me, the court process is a reconciliation process. So it depends on the perspective that you are looking at. Of course, there are calls from different quarters to see how the matter could be withdrawn from court. People are meeting behind, as an outside court to, try to gather up and maintain peace. But for reconciliation not to be mentioned, I don't think it's really an issue because Obi has taken a stand. He wants to go to court. If the court gives it to him, all well and good. If not, I think he'll be fine. So whether reconciliation is being mentioned or not, there is always a way the system will all settle everybody and everybody will go home happy. Because in the end, of course, Soyinka has done well, Obi has done well in his own right. So for him to have even visited, it shows he's a man of integrity. He shows he has Nigerian heart for. Of course, you know what Soyinka has done for the nation. So the respect. So I believe whether reconciliation is mentioned expressly or not. The good faith has been shown with that visit. The discussion, the interest of Nigeria has been played out. So I think that suffices.
It's a good thing you mentioned peace. Mike, I believe you
Still
have
everything, yes.
daily
They're talking about
trust
the tribunal to lawyers. Parties, we must consider Nigeria's peace. Now, we've heard different lawyers, and look, at this point in time now, we cannot incite the polity and all of that, as it were. And the lawyers and all of that have a big role to play in this, because at the end, it is most important that we should have, like you said, governance should continue. It shouldn't be a lacuna.
Exactly.
As it were. How important is this particular call from the tribunal to the lawyers? What part do the lawyers play that is quite important in how things roll out?
Well, if you ask me, of course, lawyers are seen to be the light of every sane society. Proper lawyers, well-trained, well-bred, well-tutored, well-schooled lawyers, of course. They are meant to direct, advise, educate, and more like enlighten. So that's the first call. So we have that responsibility to do that at every forum or fora that we have. That's one. But secondly, I would like to switch the places. I think that call should be made to the tribunal.
Themselves?
Yes, because they are the arbiter. They are those that will determine whether or not the pendulum will swing the other way. That is one. Then secondly, if they do what is right, talking about the tribunal, that is when we will have peace. So the court is the last hope of the common man. So when you are sitting there, you are expected to do justice. Once you do justice, there will definitely be peace when you do what is right. So for them to say lawyer has a role, they have a role to play to maintain peace, I think they are already preempting something, which shouldn't be so. You just do what you are meant to do, follow the process, the evidences are there, whatever. And if it goes APC way, fine. If it's for the favor of PDP or LP, I believe peace will be had. The conscience of the judges, the arbiters, will be tested.
I would have thought it's because of the sensationalism that some lawyers do is probably why that was mentioned. But at this point, we have to go. We need to we need to say a very big thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you indeed.
It was good having you.
All right.
Absolutely our pleasure. And now we join MM in the kitchen.
What's happening?
Thank you so much, guys. With me is Chef Ben. And this morning, he's making something very special, one of my favorite meals. Garlic buttered prawns with turmeric pasta.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, sure.
Great. Let's run through the ingredients.
Okay, so we have our parsley here.
Okay.
We have our prawns.
What's the parsley for?
The parsley is for the garnishing of the prawns, seasoning and also garnishing.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So we have our capsicums here,
Okay.
different types of capsicums. You have red, you have green, and we have the yellow one.
Right, yeah.
We have butter, we have garlic, we have our cream. Here we have
cooking cream, yeah?
Cooking cream.
Okay.
You have olive oil, you have black peppercorn, and we have salt, the turmeric spaghetti, and the ginger powder.
Oh, so we're using the ginger powder and then our onions, which have already been chopped already.
Yes.
I can feel someone who's drooling already from the prawns for seafood because she loves prawns.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not going to call her out, but I can feel her.
Where's Alima?
Her eagle eyes on those prawns right now.
Sure.
Right. Okay, so let's get started. What are we doing first?
Okay, so already the water is here for the pasta.
Okay.
So I'm heating the pan for the prawns. I'm going to grill the prawns first.
Okay.
And bring out the prawns. From there, I add my onions, my butter, and bring in the prawns again.
Okay.
Use the stock and cook the prawns.
Okay. So is this all going into one dish, or we're having the turmeric pasta on its own and then the garlic buttered prawns on its own?
Yeah, the pasta is going separately.
Okay.
So the sauce for the prawns, you're going to use that one for the pasta. To eat the pasta, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Pretty interesting recipe if you're a lover of prawns, and Excuse me. There are other seafoods that you could also use. What other ones? Can you tell us?
You can use fish. You can use calamari for seafood. And yeah. So,
I have a few reservations about calamari, though.
okay.
Maybe it's because there are a few
like it.
people that really don't know how to
Prepare
it
well. Okay.
well. Or you will agree with me.
So what's the observation?
Right, because it's usually never tasty. So you just taste the calamari, but then the spices that's supposed to be, it doesn't
penetrate
go in.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. If, in the area of calamari, you need to infuse all your recipes like a day before you use them. Yeah, so that
I thought so too.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I think it's also the same thing with prawns. Like you have to
prawns
properly.
prawns you can even do it now. Yes, because it's going to a sauce, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh, okay, it really doesn't matter.
Yes.
Okay, good stuff happening here in the kitchen. As you can see, we are getting ready. Chef Ben is hard at work. He's about to
marinate the
prawns,
yes,
right?
yes.
What are you using for the marinade?
I use my olive oil, I use my black pepper, corn, and I use my
garlic,
ginger
powder.
Okay.
Yeah. And what else?
And onions.
Our onions.
Yes.
Great. So we're going to marinate that and then begin stir frying in a bit. We'll go on a quick break, people. Wake Up Nigeria continues in a bit. Stay with us.
So you know what? One thing is certain. When you tune in daily to Wake Up Nigeria, tell them about it.
Yeah, when you tune in, you're making the right decision. And more, what can I say? You guys, it's plenty of inspiration for you when you do. It's the right start to your day, and especially if you tune in from the start of the week, it is the right start to your entire week. It's what you require, and we bring it to you every single day, day by day.
That's true. See, as it is, I must welcome you to the next level because that's where you're on all things good and beautiful and bright and yummy.
Yummy.
Like we have in the kitchen, distracting us with this very pleasant aroma. My goodness.
Yeah.
Something smells good there.
Are you sure it's just the aroma, Mary?
It's the aroma and the technique. Look at him slicing without even looking at. Oh my God.
Seriously, Emma?
Yes, Chef Ben. Chef Ben has been hard at work. Thank you so much, Chef Ben.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So yeah, guys, we're going to come back later on, so that to get you updated on what's been going on so far. So hey, don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
At this point, I think Chef Ben is just showing off with that cutting.
Right.
Not even looking at you.
Envy.
Don't cut your finger now.
Envy.
It's still the best show on Nigerian television, especially for breakfast. Get ready for much more coming your way. My name is Mazino Appeal.
And my name is Mary Bashua Alimi. You can watch the show live on GoTV. You'll find us on channel 16 and on UHF channel band 49.
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of getting used to.
Yeah.
You can also stream the show live, just in case you know, facebook.com. And also, you can download the app. It's available on iOS and also in Google Play Store. Make sure you carry us with you at your convenience.
Yes, I hope you're following us at TVC Connect because that's the only way you can even watch us on Facebook, for example.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so let's tell you what we have in store for you this.
Yes, indeed. Shortly, we will have our music producer and music artist, Jeremiah Oluluwatoke. He'll join us for a music performance. You guys are going to love this one.
For health discussion, Dr. Sharon Ekene, an experienced optometrist, will be here to talk about red eyes, whether you should worry about it or not. You can't afford to miss this one. Red eyes.
Red eye, red eye. Ooh, ooh, eye shining.
I know that most of us here on the couch are parents. I mean, I've been thinking about this a lot. Do you ever think that parenting is difficult, or do you oftentimes think that sometimes kids can be very difficult to manage? I don't want to say love, manage.
So here's the thing, and here's coming from a father of one. I think kids are not difficult when you have up to two. But when you have one sole child, it's a very difficult thing because you have to be the one who's engaging them. You have to be in the dirt. You have to be the one doing that. Or when there are two kids, guys can take care of yourself. Like, yeah, well, what are you guys doing?
I don't think so, Mazino, because it's very easy to love one child than the other.
So therein is the reason why initially I decided to have just one kid.
Yeah, because with one kid, all your attention, that, care, love goes to one child. But when you have two, especially when sometimes the other one you know, of course, you don't expect them to have, you know, similar traits or similar characters, right? So, and then maybe one of them is more appealing to you, more, you know, gentle, more obedient, more, and then the other one is.
How do you manage that?
For me, parenting is like, I use my parents' style.
Which is?
Brother-sister
Free
relationship.
free range.
It's not really free range. So the way it was, we were allowed to grow up, like no pressure. And that's what we were able to do, and that's what we were able to achieve as well. So I'm trying to replicate that by ensuring that, you know, there's this, yes, you know when you're the mom, but you also know that, okay, there are moments when we can be sisters, or sister and brother, as the case may be. So you can play, there's a serious time. The only difficult time is when you have to do chores, as far as I'm concerned. For me, though.
Yeah, because I've heard people, you know, parents, you know, talk about these things, and then there is also the case where, you know, a child is suffering because the parent loves one than the other, right?
Okay.
Well, it's a long conversation.
It's a long one, very long one. We should have a shorter one.
Time for the news update on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Mary Bashua Alimi. We begin from the nation's capital, where the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal has commenced its pre-hearing session at the Court of Appeal, Abuja Division. The 5-member panel is headed by Justice Haruna Samani. Now, in his inaugural speech, Justice Samani pledged commitment of the panel to doing justice to the case and advised lawyers against making sensational comments. Judiciary correspondent Celestina Iria reports.
Court of Appeal, which serves as the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal, is watertight. Shehu Shagari Way, leading to the court, was cordoned off by security personnel. The pre-hearing session commenced with Justice Haruna Samani introducing the members of the panel. Justice Stephen Ada of the Abuja Division, Mesitura Bolaji Yusuf, Asaba Division, Moses Ugo, Kano Division, and Abba Mohammed, Ibadan Division. Chairman of the panel, Justice Samani, urges counsel to be wary of unnecessary applications that would waste the time of the court. He believes everyone will be satisfied with the verdict at the end of the case. The first petition taken was that of Action Alliance, AA, and its presidential candidates. The President-elect, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, All Progressives Congress, APC, and Hamza El Mustafa were listed as respondents. Other petitions also taken today were that of Action People's Party, APP, followed by that of Peter Obi and the Labour Party, with the President-elect and APC as the respondents. The tribunal adjourned to tomorrow to take petitions filed by the Allied People's Movement, APM, and that of Atiku Abubakar and the People's Democratic Party, PDP.
The Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal now has 4 petitions before it after the Action Alliance withdrew its petition. In today's pre-hearing section, the tribunal took 2 petitions, that of Labour Party and APP.
The court committed itself to cooperate and ensure that these petitions are expeditiously dealt with. And on our part, all the lawyers for all the parties also committed themselves to cooperating with the tribunal, the court, to make sure that these matters are dealt with urgently because of their national importance.
Will impact on Nigeria's electoral jurisprudence, judicialism, and constitutionalism. It's very, very important that this is made known, because one way or the other, I do not think that it will be business as usual as far as Nigeria's electoral.
Counsel to the APC, Lateef Fagbemi, noted that preliminary objection has been filed to these petitions. Celestina Iria, TVC News, Abuja.
So the foreign scene now, air raid sirens have sounded across Ukraine after Russia launched a fresh wave of drone and missile strikes. Explosions were heard overnight in the capital, Kiev, where the mayor said 5 people have been injured in the biggest kamikaze drone attack so far. 1 person was killed in the attack on the southern Odessa region. Ukraine's Red Cross says its warehouse was hit. It marks the 4th attack in 80 days on Kiev and comes just 24 hours before Russia celebrates Victory Day. The annual holiday commemorates the Soviet Union's victory over Nazi Germany during World War II, a conflict the Kremlin has baselessly tried to draw parallels with since launching its invasion of Ukraine last year. Kiev's mayor, Vitaly Klitschko, said nearly 60 drones had been launched by Russia, describing it as the biggest such attack so far. And with that, we've come to the end of the news update today on Wake Up Nigeria. Just stay with us. We have so much more for you.
Welcome to the kitchen, guys. You're still tuned in to Wake Up Nigeria. With me in the kitchen is Chef Ben. And we are making garlic buttered prawns with turmeric pasta. That sounds like an interesting meal. It sounds like a meal that should be served up in some of those fancy restaurants, you know, around Lagos. But hey, right there on your screen are the ingredients. But hey, would have you, Mr. Ben, run through them again.
Okay, so yeah, I have my already grilled prawns.
Yeah.
First of all, I had to marinate the prawns.
Okay.
And grill it and pan grill it.
So tell us what you used in marinade.
Yeah, what I use parsley. I use seasoning cubes. I use my salt. Okay. Pepper and garlic paste. I also use my black corn and pepper. Ginger powder. Yeah, and ginger powder together with parsley. Okay. Yep. So now I'm done with the process of grilling. Okay. So I'm about to do the normal.
Now let's talk about what you did with that pasta.
So the pasta.
It's not white. It actually it has a yellowish appearance. Yeah. So what did you do with that?
You know, the name of the dish is the turmeric pasta. So I added turmeric to the pasta while boiling it. So I boil it together with it. So that
I see that you also added a bit of olive oil.
Yeah, to prevent it from being sticky.
Yeah, to cluster together. Okay.
Yeah. So right now, I'm going to start with the prawns because I'm done with the pasta. Okay. The only thing I'm going to do with the pasta now is to just saute it with a bit of butter and parsley.
So we need people to experience basically what we are making here in the kitchen, this magic. I mean, it's a very sumptuous meal. It's something that you can make in the comfort of your home. You don't have to go to a fancy restaurant to spend all that money. I mean, hey, all you just need to do is invest in some really good cooking cream because cooking cream can be very expensive.
Very, very expensive.
And then your butter, salted or unsalted?
Unsalted butter.
Unsalted butter.
Yeah, that goes to the pan that I'm going to use for the sauce and also for the spaghetti.
The pasta.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So now that our pan is being buttered, what are we doing with that?
Okay. The next thing is to add the onions. Okay. And the chopped garlic. Yeah. Okay. It's not crushed this time. It's chopped. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So if you notice, guys, a lot of garlic went into this meal, especially for the prawns, right?
Yep.
Because that's why it's called the garlic buttered prawns. Great. Okay, so now that we have our onions in there, I think you need to put on the heat.
Yeah.
That's going up a bit.
It's coming up.
Okay. And all right. So for our pasta, what exactly are we doing now with that?
Yeah, I've added butter to the pan.
Okay.
So I'm waiting for that to dissolve.
Okay.
Yeah. So after that, I will add my pasta.
Okay.
Then add my parsley, fresh parsley.
To give it that, a bit of flavor. So what other veggies can we use for our to replace the parsley?
The parsley, you can use a fresh coriander leaf.
Fresh coriander leaf?
Or basil leaf. Yes.
I mean, something that's very easily accessible.
Yeah, coriander is accessible.
Coriander is accessible.
Yes, yes.
Oh, that looks good.
You can see the texture.
It's giving it a very beautiful color.
And you add a bit of olive oil.
To give it that glossy look.
Sure.
Nice. Yep. Nice. You see what some of you go and pay hundreds of thousands at the restaurant for? We're teaching you here. So I really hope that you are paying attention so that you can use this same knowledge at the comfort of your home. Anyway, we have to head over to the couch now for some health discussion with Mike.
Hundreds of thousands, I know, okay, I'll tell you guys a story later on. I remember shenanigans when it comes to food adventure and how she cried after spending that kind of amount and she didn't get what she wanted. But hey, come on, you're not going to cry with this one we have in store today. Now, it's health, and we have Dr. Sharon Enemo. Now, she's a well-grounded and experienced optometrist, and today we're talking about red eyes. Doctor, it is great to have you. You're welcome.
Pleasure.
Your glasses are not here today. You didn't come with the glasses today.
I didn't come with my glasses.
Okay, good. So, red eye. Everybody has had or still has it. There are some that is constant red. There are some that have constant red, and then we tend to, say it's maybe due to smoking and some others and all of that. But what are the most probable causes of red eye?
Well, red eye has numerous causes, really. And in the clinic, it's one of the common symptoms we see. But you see, red eye could be caused by so many things. Some are not serious, and some are actually medical emergency cases. So yes, red eye could be caused by bacterial, it could be caused by chlamydia, could be caused by allergies, could be caused by dryness, could also be caused by long-time exposure to gadgets, like we talked about the last time.
Yes, exactly.
Could be caused by sunlight exposure, exposure to sunlight. Yeah, so there are many causes. It could also be caused by serious conditions such as arthritis, glaucoma. These are all causes of red eye. So the problem now becomes, how do you differentiate
between all of this?
What causes the red eye?
Just before we get into that, can there be a natural red eye? Somebody who's naturally...
Nope. The only persons you're most likely going to see with some sort of people that have albinism, because they lack melanin.
Melanin, okay.
So you know that tends to be the color of their eyes are a little more transparent than every other person's, and we get to see their blood vessels come through when you look at them. So it seems like they have red eyes, but nobody is born with a red eye.
So there can be no natural red eye.
There isn't a natural
Before we
red
get
eye.
into those other ones now, how about cases of inebriation, when somebody is drunk, or maybe, as it were, maybe someone smokes and all of that? Do they directly cause red eyes?
Understand that red eye is caused when there is a dilation of the blood vessels in the eye.
Okay.
And that could be caused, that is most likely caused really when there's a congestion of the blood vessels. Congestion could be caused by many things. So yes, can smoking in a way cause red eye? Not exactly, but the environment where you are at that time. When people smoke, the air is saturated, it dries off the eye, prevents a lot of oxygen from getting into the eye.
So that's the secondary smoke, not the primary one.
It's not the primary.
So the primary one cannot cause red eye,
No,
even if it's a dangerous substance?
Well, like I said to you, things like marijuana.
Okay.
Yes, because there's a congestion of blood vessels. There's a spike. The blood flow to the vessels are more. So it makes the eye more reddish. That's where you see the redness.
That's where you see it. So even hard drugs and all of that, that's where you see the reddish and all of that.
Because the blood vessels dilated, blood is moving, and it's moving through its normal-sized place, and more than usual blood is trying to pass through. It dilates, causes redness of the eye.
Wow, wonderful. Now, let's get back to what we're talking about when it's medically induced and all of that. How do you differentiate between all of them? I know diagnosis is important. How do you go about it?
Well, when we have someone in the clinic, for example, I have someone seated at my desk and I'm trying to know why there's a red eye. There are a series of questions I'll ask. I'd like to know what preempted the red eye.
The red eye.
Some will tell you I have symptoms like mucus coming out of my eye. There's a red flag for me. I'm beginning to do elimination series. Some will tell you I have watery discharge. Some will tell you my eye feels gritty, like I've got sand in my eye. Some will actually tell you something went into my eye.
My eyes.
So these are the things that cause redness. Some could also tell you, oh, I slept yesterday, something went into my eye. I was okay. I slept and I woke up and this morning is different. And I begin to question what got into your eye. Could this be a chemical reaction to whatever it is that had got into the eye the day before?
The day before.
Yeah, so there are many causes of red eye. So for a doctor, you take your time. You see, it's a common symptom, and most times people take it for granted.
Yes.
You see, there's
it will go.
Yes, it will go. Yes, most of them go, most go. But there are some that don't go. And there are red flags that when you have them, don't say it will go. When you see that the redness is not going, a day, 2 days after, the eye is still red, go see your eye doctor. It's important. When you notice that your vision is changing.
It's changing.
It's getting worse. I could see this beautiful tree and then suddenly it's looking blood today. I should go see my doctor. When I feel pains in my eyes, when I roll my eyes, I feel pains in my eyes. It's a worrisome case. I should go see my doctor.
So for me, I'll get to a personal issue now, but how about cases where a patient cannot really describe what is happening to them?
Yeah, tests.
Because, okay, exactly, that's why you now have to run tests.
All cases that come in with a red eye, they are tests you run.
Okay.
But like I said, it starts with the conversation you have
with the patient.
While having that conversation, you do like a diagnosis elimination series. You must use that, and then primarily narrow down to the sort of test you will run for someone.
Okay, so how about a case where the eye is red? I think this might be due to exposure from screens and all of that. And there are times when you close the eye and then you feel heat.
Peppery.
It's not peppery per se, but it's like it's hot, more hot than peppery, you know. And how? Let's have a diagnosis now. How does that one? What could be causing it?
It is most likely exposure to gadgets.
To gadgets.
Understand that when you're seated before a gadget, your phone, your laptop, and you're looking at it, your blinking level reduces.
Yeah.
We're having this conversation, we're looking at each other.
Yeah.
Involuntarily, you're blinking 2, 3, 4 times.
4 times.
But when you're on a gadget, you're staring.
You're staring.
And you blink less.
Okay.
And when your gaze is fixed, more light goes into the eye, the UV rays, and they dry up the surface of the cornea. Understand, for vision to work properly, the eyes must be well lubricated. Now, when you're staring, you don't lubricate the eye enough. That blink doesn't lubricate the eye enough. And when you've finished your 2, 3, 4 hours before the system and you look away and you close the eye, remember you said close the eye. You're trying to force tears now to come and lubricate the eyes.
So that's where
causes that heat.
Wow.
Some will tell you it's hot, some will tell you, oh, it feels like I have pepper in my eyes.
Yeah.
It is dryness of the eye.
Dryness of the eye.
Yes. That's
I just need to ask this question. So you're looking at the screen, everywhere is dark. How important is it having another source of light while you are watching the screen?
For a basic knowledge, when you're on a screen, either a dark room or a lighted room, your screen light should be slightly brighter than every other light. It should be brighter.
Okay.
Not darker.
Okay.
Because that balances it out with the environment.
Okay.
If it's too dark, you strain more to see. When it's well lighted, you see with ease. So there's less glare for the eye. So it's important.
So if I was at home at night and everywhere is dark?
Don't put everywhere dark and have your screen on. No, it's not good. Have it well lit and your screen lit.
Okay, how about dark mode on your phone?
Dark mode for some persons, they have astigmatism. There are people who they have a physiologic condition, astigmatism.
Okay.
So they have irregular curvature of the cornea. So when light that ought to travel on a straight line hits their own cornea, instead of going straight, there's a diffusion. So it's causes distortion of vision.
Okay.
For such persons, we actually advise reduce the light, the mode of your phone or your gadget, so that you try to narrow down the light to a straight beam to give comfort.
Doctor, we could spend 1 hour talking. There's so much. As
red
we're
eye.
going there are more questions getting in.
With red eye,
Well, hopefully we'll have you, and we'll have you next time, and then we'll get to talk about more of these ones.
Always be a pleasure.
It's a pleasure also having you.
Nice
Thank you
to
so much,
meet
Doctor.
you.
All right, that's it. We'll take a time out now. Stay with us. We'll be back with a bit more.
And we are back. Thanks for staying with us. Welcome to the kitchen, Sharon, and welcome to the kitchen, Jeremiah. This is Chef Ben, and this morning he's made garlic buttered prawns with turmeric pasta. Sounds exciting, yeah?
Yeah.
Please dig in, enjoy. I would like to hear what you think about the meal.
Yeah. Chef Ben got the memo today. He
Yes,
made
he did.
extra for everybody because I always challenge him every time.
I remember you called him out the last time.
Yes, I did. Now come and give not like small. Thank you, Chef Ben.
Thank you.
What's going on here?
Yeah, we also
It
have
looks
some
good,
people who
actually.
are hanging around because they want to have a taste. I did not say the name Ella. Sorry, I did not call her name.
Wow. What do you think, Sharon?
I could keep going.
Oh, please, keep going.
This is quite
Jeremiah?
Lovely.
Nice. Ooh, you have a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
Oh, good for voiceover. Mazino.
I did not say. You're giving everybody my job. Which one will now remain for me?
Have you not tried in the industry?
Please.
No. Have you not tried? Hand over to some. Let's
Jeremiah, keep singing. Leave voiceover for me.
Yeah, we'll take your job.
It's been a great show.
Yes,
I really have enjoyed it.
It has been.
And of course, with prawns ending everything, it can't be a better show than this one.
Amen, amen, amen. And to all our guests, thank you so much for being with us. And to you at home watching, thank you. We have to go now, people. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.